can't really put much thought into those. But yeah, that's gonna be a fun fight.
Do you think that it's going to be more entertaining though than this co-main event? It's just Rose and Zhang. I'm. This is an interesting one. I like strawweight because it's the smallest people, and they can sometimes really just throw hands, and it's fun to watch.
Specifically these two, because these two love to stand and bang.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely.
You know, Rose's record, 9-4, she's so much better than her record indicates.
Well, her wins are way, way bigger than her losses. Like, I mean, like her shit. Calderwood, Van Zant, Torres, Michelle Waterson, Joanna twice. She beat Andrade. You know, if she beats Zhang, I mean, that's huge.
And I think she does beat Zhang. I think she's had more high-profile fights than Zhang at this point.
Mm-hmm.
Well, Zhang has actually beat some of the same people. I think Rose wins. I really do. I think something could get into her head. You know, she's made some comments this week. I don't know if you've seen any of those in the news, but she's made some comments about basically communism and Zhang being from China.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if the backlash from that could be in her head and that mentally affect her.
Yeah.
That's definitely I think is a factor. So I'm gonna go with Zhang in this one, and I think it's gonna be a unanimous decision.
Rose knockout, second round.
Wow, that's bold. All right. Well, I hope you're wrong.
I'm not wrong.
All right, Kamaru Usman and Jorge Masvidal. I think this is going to be a boring fight.
It's going to be a very lopsided fight, and unfortunately for Usman, it's just going to be one of those where either he's going to, he's going to step on toes, or he's going to knock him out. And I think he's going to piss people off because they're going to be like, I don't like how he fights. I don't like him. I don't think Masvidal's bad. I just think Masvidal, it's like a Cerrone situation to me. If he would have never knocked out Askren like he did, I mean, you see how easy that is to knock out. If he would have never done that, then he would have never had these shots. He would have never been in the eyes of McGregor or any of the Diaz brothers. Just to talk. He wouldn't have had any of that, but he does, and now he's here. He's sitting, here, getting another shot at the welterweight championship. So, good luck to him.
It's just proof that the UFC has turned into professional wrestling to a certain degree. When it comes to, hey, you can have the shot because you're gonna bring in the money.
Let me ask you this question. Serious note. Do you tell me that this? I'm going to read out the wins and losses from 2017 to now, and you tell me if he's deserving of a welterweight championship shot with these. All right? He beat Donald Cerrone in 17. He lost to Damian Maia in 17 and Stephen Thompson in 17. Then in 19, he beat Darren Till. All right, he didn't fight again until July of 2019. That's when he did the flying knee against Ben Askren. All right, 5-second knockout. All right, then he goes in and in 2019 he fights Diaz. Yeah, he wins. He wins from the doctor's stoppage because of that cut. All right, his very next fight is the title fight against Usman, and he loses. And now he's getting another title fight against Usman.
Well, no, he definitely doesn't deserve the title fight. He didn't deserve the first one. I think the only reason he got the first one was he stepped in on short notice, I believe. Could be wrong. I know he stepped in on short notice because there was a big deal about how much weight he had to cut. I'm telling you, the only reason he got this fight is because Kamaru Usman wanted it. Because Usman stated, and I don't know how true this really is, because Usman could just be chasing a bag, but he stated that he wasn't happy with his performance the last time he beat him, and he wanted to finish him.
Okay.
I don't know. I think that is Kamaru Usman. Maybe he's being honest about that. However, if it was me and I knew I could beat this guy the way I beat him last time, and it'd be something boring, and I could lean against him, stomp on his feet, maybe get a takedown in the later rounds after I've tired him out and just lay on him a little while. He knows it's going to bring in the money. He's getting pay-per-view points off of this. This is the biggest payday for Usman, this fight right here.
Oh, yeah. Oh, absolutely.
So I think I would want this fight, too, if I was Usman.
But it's just I don't know.
I would have rather this would have been Usman versus Stephen Thompson. That's what I would have rather have seen. I don't know if there was another welterweight that would have been ready to go. I don't even know if Stephen Thompson was ready to go. But he'd already beat Colby Covington. He beat Gilbert Burns. Leon Edwards was in training camp when this fight was getting made or was getting ready to fight, so he wasn't ready to fight during that time or get scheduled. Stephen Thompson, to me, would have been the right route to go.
Yeah, unfortunately. Well, not unfortunately. It would have been better, but unfortunately they did not. I'm looking at these rankings, and they're not really helpful.
No. How do you feel about the rankings in general? I think it's really weird the UFC came out with rankings. Remember back in the day when they didn't have any? We kind of just was going off of win streaks, and it's kind of hard as a champion to defend your belt multiple times with rankings because it's very rare for that top 5 to actually change.
Yeah, I mean, you always have somebody dipping into it, and you might get one guy come in. It's pretty good. Damn, the welterweight just seems depleted. It's not depleted. I know it's not, but it just feels depleted.
Yeah, I think it's with recently, Tyron Woodley on his 4-fight losing streak, and he's still ranked number 10.
Yeah.
Doesn't really make much sense. I think we need to keep an eye on Vicente Luque and Michael Chiesa. Those are your next ones to enter the top 5, I think, and be title challengers.
Yeah, I think Billy Muhammad, too, could.
Think so?
Yeah, if he wouldn't, poke people's eyes out.
Let me ask you, regarding the welterweight division, regardless of who wins this fight, Jorge Masvidal, Kamaru Usman, I don't really care. Who's the next person gets a title fight? The 2 fights that I see coming up that could lead to a title fight is Gilbert Burns versus Stephen Thompson. That's 2 versus number 5. Then you have Leon Edwards taking on Nate Diaz. I think if Leon Edwards wins that, he could get a title shot. I don't think Nate Diaz does if he wins. But which one of those do you think would get a title shot with a win?
I think Leon gets it because Leon had, he only lost it was unanimous, but, that was back in 2015, that was 6 years ago when he lost to Usman last. So a lot's changed since then. I think if he beats Diaz, he does get the title shot.
I agree. I specifically agree because I think they'll be able to hype that up as a Usman versus. I do think Usman's going to win this weekend. So Usman versus Edwards rematch. However, if Jorge Masvidal wins, he's come out and said that he really wants to rematch Stephen Thompson because Stephen Thompson just absolutely dominated him in that loss.
Mm-hmm.
But then you also have Leon Edwards. They had a backstage scuffle. So both of those fights are very marketable from a Jorge Masvidal's point of view.
Absolutely.
If I'm Leon Edwards or Stephen Thompson, I want Jorge Masvidal to win. Well, now let's not also forget they love to give immediate rematches. What if Kamaru Usman got an immediate rematch?
He would. He would get an immediate rematch.
I really hate the amount of immediate rematches there are.
Yeah, but that's how it works. It'll always work like that. It's about the money. It's about the money, honey.
Okay. Speaking of money, do you got anything else about this event you want to touch on?
I do not. I think we covered it all.
All right, let's talk about money for a second, and let's talk about this Triller event, man.
Hey, guess what? Why the
What?
hell did you spend $60?
It was 50.
Why the hell did you spend $50 buying something for a YouTube star?
So I don't have an answer. I don't have a rebuttal.
Yeah, I know you don't, because there is none. Because
I know. You're welcome to bash me for this, but I'm not the only one that did it. You know how I know that? Because as of right now, SB Nation has reported that their sources are telling them that this did at least 1.45 million views or pay-per-view buys, and could top 2 million when all the data is in.
Okay. So that means that about 100 million, yeah.
That's absolutely insane.
Yeah, well, guess who didn't get my money? Guess who didn't get my money? Guess who didn't get my money?
But that's another thing to think about, though. Okay, so let's think about all the people who bought it. Let's stick with their low ball number. Let's just say 1.5 million buys right now. Just to, that's low balling it probably. But let's also think of all the people who decided to stream it,
right,
and not buy it. Or the amount of people who watched it at their friend's house and just caused one buy, but there's like 8 people there.
Right.
A lot of people tuned into this, man. A lot of people really wanted to see Ben Askren beat Jake Paul.
Everybody wanted to, well, not everybody, but a lot of people wanted to see it happen, and it didn't happen. It was rigged. It is bad. Like that was bad. I've seen adult videos with better, production quality and scripts.
Dude, there was scaffolding everywhere. They had Doja Cat, Diplo, Justin Bieber, the Black Keys. I didn't know I was buying a concert. I didn't know it was an 8-hour event. I didn't know there was going to have a slap fight during it. Did you see that?
They had a actual slap fight in the middle of it. I actually thought I was watching it, and I looked up. I was watching the UFC fights, and it was in the middle of the Pena fight actually. And I look over and I was like, "Why is there slap fighting going on?" And I checked my computer to make sure that it it hadn't cut over to something else. And I was like, "Oh shit, that's what the hell."
I just really don't understand what the whole purpose of it was. If Jake wants to be taken seriously, and I think we can all agree that he does have somewhat of skills. We really don't know how good they are because he hadn't actually fought an actual boxer yet. But he obviously hits hard because we've seen Askren take some heavy shots from Robbie Lawler and not go down like that. So, I don't know. He's going to have to get out from under Triller. I know they're paying him, but you're going to have to move on from that gimmick or circus farce, whatever you want to call it, and move on to a serious boxing event if you want to be taken seriously.
Well, I don't think he's worried about being taken seriously. He's got his fans, and that's all he worries about.
That's something I think we're going to touch on here in a little while, because I think you're right. And I think that's going to lure other boxers to come over to Triller because they're doing these. Imagine if they also had a full crowd there, Luke, and how much more revenue they would have brought in.
Absolutely. Which I think they would have done less pay-per-view, but not that much. But you get the point.
They would have made more off of the ticket sale from that person not buying the pay-per-view, though.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. They would have made more money, actually.
Yeah, and the gate, the concessions, merchandise,
Jeez.
There's a market for it. I mean, there's obviously a market for that. Being a serious martial artist, though, and a serious combat sports fan, I just wasn't a fan of it. I would just rather just see the boxing fights and have legitimate commentating and